G'day and welcome back to the Performance by Design Institute. Emil here again with you with another session where we're going to dive into, yes, you guessed it, the culture code. The culture code within your team has been specifically designed and created by you guys to fit your needs. Do not underestimate the power and the credibility, the value of your culture code, because it guides you in everything that you do at any given time within your team. Today though, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into how you can actually use it in any given moment. We have our purpose, we have your value statement, your team identity, and we have your best behaviors at the top of the pyramid. So let's dive into each section and talk about how and when you would use these different facets, I guess, of the culture code. Number one, let's dive into the purpose of the team. Now, you may have your own specific phrase around the purpose of the team by now, but the energy that is at the base of your culture code is to support each other. When do you use it? Well, quite frankly, you use it all the time. It's something you fall back no matter what. But in this instance today, we're talking about how can you use it and when you would. It's when you're in times of conflict when it's most important. You are collaborating, you're developing some new strategies with your teammates, whatever it might be. If you're not getting the result and you're not progressing forward, you might be stuck in a bit of conflict. Now, this is not a bad thing. Don't think the conflict's terrible, terrible, terrible. It's a good thing because it drives performance. But if we're getting stuck, we fall back onto supporting each other. We look to ask more questions. We maybe step away from the moment. Supporting each other through times of conflict drives a lot of trust and builds a lot of safety within your organization. Let's now look at the middle of the pyramid of the culture code and the team identity. These are your values. Whether you have it in a statement or it's just a series of values words, your team identity is the foundation for all conversations about performance. Use it as a reference guide. And the three ways that we want you to use it moving forward, and forever and a day to be really honest, is one, to assess performance. If you feel that we hit the team identity, praise and recognize that. If you think that we need to push forward, we need to challenge it through asking questions, using the team identity, okay? We also use it when we're at our best to even go further and produce better results than we ever had before. It becomes our identity over time, hence the word team identity. It gets into your belief systems, and within your organization, you really live those values, which is really powerful. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we use your team identity when you're under stress. Fall back onto your values when you're under stress. And we know that you have to go through some stress to get to some really great places in performance. So that's your value statement, your team identity. What I'd like to look at now is what you do. The actions within your team are your best behaviors. This is what you hold each other accountable to on any given day so that you live the team identity and you are supporting each other. Number one, we use our best behaviors to pre-frame an upcoming event. So I've got this great client that works with underprivileged children. One of their best behaviors is to embrace grit and growth. So as you're leading into a program with some kids that you know are going to challenge you call out, let's embrace grit and growth here, guys, because these kids are probably we're going to find out something about ourselves. And if we embrace grit, they're going to get something out of it as well. So we use it as a pre-frame to call out an activity we're about to get into. We can also use it as an internal affirmation, an incantation, if you will, to self-motivate in any particular moment where you're maybe not getting the results that you want. So an internal affirmation is a very powerful tool to use. It goes back to that self-talk. Again, leveraging the culture code whenever possible. And then finally, probably the most powerful way to use your best behaviors as far as a language is concerned is to call out in the moment. We've talked about it before. Feedback is most powerful when it's timely, when it's delivered right in the middle of the action. Calling out a best behavior at any given time to motivate and change behavior at any given time leads to enormous amounts of trust, enormous amounts of safety, and we get to improve performance over time. Lots of great stuff there today, lots of practical information on how to use your culture code. Dive into the activities now, connect with your teammates, build those strong professional relationships because it's all about performance.